Pastors was started in 2003 in London. I think he's a Sir Les Isaacs. He's a pastor, and he just saw that there was a lot of gun and knife crime, and so they did a tour of Birmingham and Manchester and London, but talking about guns on the street, and then he went off to Jamaica and saw a form of street pastors, and he'd heard how the gun crime had dropped, so they came back to Lambeth, and after a good few years of praying and working with the authorities, the first street pastors I think went out in 2005, 4 or 5, and they found that the gun crime in this particular borough went down by about 70%. Yeah. And then it's gradually grown in London, and then it's Birmingham. Newcastle started in 2008, yeah. So we've roughly got over 300 initiatives, street pastors, so scattered around. We've got some in America, some in Australia, some other places. As long as you're a Christian, you're over 18, and yeah, that's about you have to have gone to a church for about 18 months and be able to get a reference from your minister. And that's how it was started by a group of clergy. That it was the dean started in Newcastle, and there was like 4 or 5 plus that brought in the police, and they chose street pastors. There's other organisations do similar. There's Street Angels, and that's run by the church. And as long as you're sympathetic to the Christian faith, you can join, but you don't need to be a Christian. But there's a lot of Christians, and it's just the way Newcastle chose street pastors. The street pastors in Whitley Bay and Tynemouth and Jesmond and Carlisle, Sunderland. In Middlesbrough there's Street Angels. So it's just the way it was chosen. So. A lot of it is from donations. So we'll get donations from churches and from some of them businesses give money. Also, Newcastle has what they call a nighttime levy. So there's nighttime economy. So that's everything that makes the money in Newcastle at nighttime, all night, every night, not just Friday and Saturday night. And there's nighttime levy which the clubs pay, and that covers the policing. Because obviously some of the policing they put out, the policemen are on overtime, I assume, and that goes. We get a grant from there, so that helps us as well, because everything costs money, and it keeps going up and up, so that helps us a lot.